Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Week in MAA over here on G4G, Games for Gamers. I'm your host, Napalm Dawn, and let's take a look at what is going on in the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. There is definitely a lot of very interesting things going on this week. And this episode's background soundtrack is brought to you by the Chrono Trigger OST. So just taking a look over here at how my PvP team is doing today. It's the first time I've looked at it today, so they're still looking very solidly in Adamantium. I have about 150 that I can drop before I get knocked out of Ada, and looks like defense is still getting it done really well over here. I've actually skipped a day of offense because my defense had done so well. Other than the lockboxes, I just didn't really need to do any offense. I was actually afraid to lose what my defense is doing, and that's the opposite. But I did my 5 yesterday. As you can see, it was 5 in, 5 out. Defense is holding pretty strong over there. About the 1700 border. And we have, new lockbox tasks. Fight 20, win 3 in a row. Remember, practice counts, so don't bust yourself wasting these over here. And it's number 4 of 4, so honestly, get your 3 in a row. And then for your 20, hey, do some practice. Do some stress-free practice. Try other teams that you think might work. And you can go ahead and nail that. So what is interesting right now here in Marvel Avengers Alliance? Well, we have the Guardian sale, which I wonder if this is going to be the big sale like we had last year with the 12 days of Christmas and the Phoenix Force and everything like that. I feel this is almost too small to be it, but it might be. So we have the Cosmic Cardinal on sale, and it is 64 gold. I do recommend this as a purchase, and here's one of the reasons why I recommend it as a purchase. It is a non-usable action, so it is really good at railroading your agent into certain abilities on defense. If you stack a bunch of quick actions and a Cosmic Cardinal, and say something that would be up every turn like a rocket pistol, that's a really good way to go. If you are a snappy service tactician, you may want something that has no cooldowns, like, say, the Mystic. If you ran 2 quick actions, this and the Mystic, you knew you would be spamming the Mystic on everybody. This is a main staple of quick lock groups, or any groups that make use of mental coordination, berserking, stuff like that, Quicksilver. And believe it or not, and I consider this a bug, and I do plan on writing to Playdom about this along with my own bugs, the Cosmic Cardinal, even though it is ranged, energy, and tech, cannot be shut down by the Mystic. If you have obsolete tech on your agent and the Cosmic Cardinal is due to fire, it will fire. I have almost lost PvP matches because of that. So, for the suits, which one is going to be worthwhile? Well, for the Rocket Raccoon, I would say the Generalist is good, because he always has crits, and the Blaster version is just it's good on paper, but it could be weak on PvP. So if you just want the Blaster bonus, use the regular Rocket Raccoon for that. And then if you want to use Rocket Raccoon, use the Generalist, give him a morale boost. For Drax, you have the Scrapper version and the Bruiser version. I went with the Bruiser version. Honestly, this one could kind of go either way, but I think he winds up being a little bit better as a bruiser for the enraged, simply to hit harder rather than have the extra attack. He's already got good accuracy, so either way, the bruiser version is going to be a little bit more expensive. For Gamora, you have Infiltrator and Tactician. She is almost Infiltrator-ish enough in her Tactician suit that you would go either way on this one, but I would really recommend the Tactician. It is a better bonus on paper. And there is something else over here. If you are running Gamora on defense, which, as we all know, is not an unheard of thing, it's very common. To me, it's right up there with Pestilence and Red Hulk, or Gamora and Pestilence. If you are running the Infiltrator version on defense, you are opening yourself up to a bigger can of hurt than if you were running a Tactician and there's an Infiltrator on the other side. Whenever I see Gamora, to me, she is a high priority target. If she is an Infiltrator, and the fact that I have a Scrapper on my team, I have the ability to go for her full bore. And, you know, she's got evasion, but she doesn't have defense, so any group with 2-strike will chew up the Infiltrator Gamora. Granted, you don't have the PvP powerhouse that you used to in Scrapper Blue Suit Quicksilver, but, you know, there's lots of Iron Fists and everything. I think Infiltrator is very risky on defense, especially for such a linchpin on your team. Despair really makes it so that the enemy team has to hold, or your team has to hold Light Fantastic until Despair is gone. And, you know, if she starts ramping up with Doom and whirlwinding it and then mangling it, she is a high priority threat. If it's her and Beast, that's really tough. They're both equally bad to deal with, but, you know, if it's her and Groot, absolutely Gamora is the one to go for. So, if you're an Infiltrator, it's risky. Groot, however, Groot is one of the hardest ones to pick. Your bruiser is going to be cheaper, but generalist allows you to not get smacked around by blasters and provide morale boost. You can really go either way on this one. The advantages of the bruiser, of course, are the big and fast ISO that leads to the extra turn if you defend, and the generalist will give you morale boost. If you're not running another morale boost on your team, you may want to go generalist. If it's offense and you want to use Groot's extra turn, you may want to go bruiser. So last year's lockboxes are on sale. That is the impending Doom lockboxes. And it's hard to believe that it was a year ago that, you know, Doom was dropping and I was waiting for Christmas to unlock them all. And I found him to be a powerhouse on offense for a little while. Defense, he didn't bother me. But there were times when he did. And there were like some bugs going on where he kind of prevented debuffs on the whole team a little bit. Hard to believe that's a year ago. We actually have something new this year for that, and that'll be coming up. First, we're going to take a look at this new thing over here. Daily missions. You basically have about 18 hours or so to run a one-day mission that expires at the end of the 18 hours. And it has star levels. Level 1 is 250 gold. After that, it's 1,000 gold. I kind of forget the rest, but I did get up to 3 or 4 with yesterday's mission, which was all tacticians. Today's is all females. And the agent. Yesterday, I thought I could get my agent in there, but I couldn't. And there are some tasks that go with it, like throw 5 snowballs. Snowballs drop in the dailies, but I had about 300 built up from last year. I wish I knew that. I would have done it a little bit sooner. I would have been throwing them. But that is one of the tasks. And of course, the lockboxes are going to the newest character, similar to Doom a year ago, and that is Hybrid. And these lockboxes are locked until Christmas. So do what you can to build them up, and then you get to open them all at once. So there is Hybrid. He is not Doomish. I believe you can use... I haven't actually looked at him yet. I wanted it to be a surprise for this video, but... So, attacks against his character can't be stealthy. He gradually restores health in combat. Chance to remove a harmful effect each round. Attacks that would reduce him. So that's kind of, you know, that's anti-venom over there. Wreak Vengeance. Gains health and justified, increasing attack, accuracy, defense, and evasion whenever an enemy is defeated. So he ramps up as he kills people on the other side. And yeah, he's not locked to just the agent over here. And if I remember correctly, he's going to have multiple suits. So there's a blaster version. There is... Okay, so it does, his passives will change. Painfully aware as an infiltrator. 20% chance to avoid enemy attacks. Attacks dodge this way provoke a counterattack. Everything else is the same. Survivor, guaranteed to survive being KO'd once and restore to 30% health. So we've seen that with like your Sabertooth and your Iceman and everything. It's interesting for the Tactician to have that. The Scrapper Hybrid, Barbed Spine. Successful enemy melee attacks against this target give the attacker bleeding and immediately hemorrhage. So that's very good against Quicksilver, and bleed groups would be nice with this. And last but not least, we have the Bruiser version. Out for Blood. Attacks gain 3 applications of bleeding. So, oddly enough, the Bruiser version is going to be really good for bleeder groups. And his stats don't seem to change. Okay, so his stats are going to be the same. And of course, all the names are different. And I'm noticing that the abilities don't change. So that's good. And Riot, Agony, Phage, and Lasher. The other person that we have is just a straight-up sale from Molly Hayes. She is one of the Runaways. That's Nico's group. Not to be confused with the rock group of the early 80s and late 70s. That spawned several successful female artists, but Molly Hayes of the Runaways. She is a bruiser, and quite the bruiser that she is. She is very odd in that she has no health and no stamina. But her attack and defense are like blaster levels on her attack, and her accuracy and evasion are pretty solid, meaning if you do the PKB method of doing attack, defense, health, attack, accuracy, health, and one of the defensive stats, never mind, I don't know what I'm saying, I'm just confused. Defense is very high, so that's going to be the win over evasion. So you're going to go attack, health, defense, and accuracy. Her accuracy is pretty good for a bruiser. That attack is phenomenal, and you feel it with her, but that health, man, that's like Nico level health. Right there, I guess you're paying for childhood. This girl, not to say that she's Molly Cyrus, but she comes in like a wrecking ball. She has a passive that all other bruisers start with a stack of Enraged for having to work with her. So you might see those bruiser suits coming out of the closet. She is determined that she cannot be stunned, incapacitated, or feared. Very, very interesting. And stuns are a big thing with her. That's kind of her thing. And let's take a look at her. She has Dropkick. I saw this wrestling move on TV. It's melee unarmed, it causes impaired, it causes wide open, and it causes combo setup. Wow. She has wind up punch, and this is the big hitter. Deadly crits, exploits combos, which she does on a level 1, and exploits stuns. So that means she works with any of your incapacitating people, your She-Hulks, your Medusas, even, believe it or not, Spider-Woman. Bioenergy counts as a stun. I didn't know that until like this week. She has Raspberry, which is a changer. It sort of changes her abilities. She gains Hothead, where Raspberry actions become Temper Tantrum at the beginning of the next turn. And on herself, she protects allies from single target attacks, and she counters enemy attacks with Dropkick. Let's Play Catch. Catastrophic. All enemies ranged. All enemies are intimidated, all enemies have incapacitation, so there's the setup for the wind-up punch. When you use Raspberry, she changes over to these items where Temper Tantrum now becomes a quick action. She goes to sleep after the next round and gains exhaustion. Temper Tantrum restores all stamina when Temper Tantrum is applied. She gains an infinite amount of actions until a recharge. She's immune to exhaustion and fear. And there's like, so I'm probably guessing that it means that with a lot of stamina, she will be able to go until her stamina runs out. Like, literally will just go and go. This is going to be really interesting, and I think this could potentially lead to a ton of bugs. She's going to have 2 ISO slots over here, so you could maybe do the big and fast one over here and set her up to tank. It's going to be interesting to see what the AI does for her, but she is going to be a beast on offense. She hits like a tank. You give her just a little bit of buff on the wind-up punch, or you use, if she hits somebody with a dropkick and then somebody else provides the incapacitation, oh my god. I think she's gonna, like, Gorgon and her are gonna be vicious. You run the Dragon's Foot, Gorgon and her, and, you know, that is going to be beastly. You've got a stunning Gorgon over here. You can have them equipped with the pressure point melee ISOs and feed pressure points into Gorgon, and Gorgon can feed her rising up buffs. You have over here Rock and Locks, which incapacitates the entire enemy team. She works very, very good with exploiting stuns. If you look over here at some of the other people, well, yep, you know, you've got Thane, where his Sealing Touch kind of counts as a stun when it begins to stack up. The third stack counts as a stun. Let's go and talk about some of the others that we've mentioned over here. They should be coming up pretty soon. So, yeah, look at Venom Blast. Biofeedback counts as a stun and a poison, so Venom Blast will help her. Of course, you have Motion Granite, which does incapacitation. She exploits stuns over here on the Stomp. And, you know, if your agent was lucky enough, you have a lovely little setup item, except that it's not stealthy. In when I like to run Molly, and she is, God, she's fun to level. She truly is. There's something that I got kind of recently that works really, really well with that. And that is the Savage Totem. If you picked up the Savage Totem, you will incapacitate the enemy team for an entire 2 rounds. And it's ranged and it's magic, so it will get through phased, and it hits the entire enemy team. Now, obviously, a tactician using this on an infiltrator, you're going to get an infiltrator in your face. But, you know, that's something to look into if you picked it up. You know, there's tons of other stunning weapons and everything like that. If you want a really good incapacitation weapon, the Deathly Freeze Ray was on sale recently, and I've got it lurking about here somewhere. But of course, when things are full screen, the icons don't always draw in particularly well. So, you know, any of your stunners, any of your incapacitators will do a really good job with her. If you can provide the incapacitation and run her and She-Hulk and do something like the Dragon's Foot, there it is, Deathly Freeze Ray. If the agent has poison, it applies incapacitation. Well, you have the chance to counter, and it will also apply the incapacitation on attack. So, hey, you know, Signpost, Deathly Freeze Ray, the Cube, and the Steps of Shaolu, and you have got a gorgeous, gorgeous Molly Hayes. That girl is a beast. And that's about it, because I've done my tasks already for the day. So, and if you go to open the lock boxes over here, you will see Symbiotic has now taken over. Do not apply until Christmas. It's probably the most unicolor lockbox we've ever had. It's just like, it's just red. Psycho is pretty unicolor, but for the most part, just blood red over here. And there's your toolboxes. I'm getting close over here. Still got 2 left. I'm getting a bit of a bonus bar. And let's see if he's meant... Well, it doesn't really talk about his cover, so... If we take a look at the missions, they're on a slightly different carrier over here. And, like this one's in Hell's Kitchen. It's Mystique and Celine at the end. And you can use females against them. So, looks like a Scrapper and an Infiltrator would be good to have against this one. Tactician would also be good. And you can use the Agent. So... I don't know if you're getting snowballs from doing allies. I just know that since I was playing last year, I had a bunch of snowballs built up. I didn't see them in the store, so it looks like, you know, by hook or crook, you're going to have to get them through legit means, or maybe have them built up last year. And definitely hit up your allies while you can for the Christmas cookies and the cookies and milk. They are invaluable buffs, especially the one that restores stamina to the entire team. It's absolutely great to use doing PvE. So, hope you enjoyed this week in Marvel Avengers Alliance here on G4G, Games for Gamers. Be sure to check out the subscribe link below. Hit like if you would want. And if you look in the video description, you'll see a link to the OST and a link to be on Twitch, so you can see when videos are released and when I'm streaming live on Twitch, which may be, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of Warcraft, a little bit of HOTS. So, take care, everybody.